First, I would just like to introduce you guys how the drawing session works. So basically, like I said before, we have 3 drawing sessions. So each drawing session, we will talk about one inspiring Malaysian Tauke. But do keep in mind, these are not Malaysian Tauke that existed in our Tauke Talks. This is just for the workshop purposes, just for like a reference. So do keep in mind that for the competition itself, you must choose Tauke. That's from our Tauke Talks, such as Maggie. So this we will have three sessions, and each of them will be about 20 minutes long. And we will tackle different topics. So if you have any questions during this drawing session, feel free to ask in the chat, and I will say it to Maggie, because Maggie will not be really looking at the chat, she'll be focusing on the drawing. So yeah, Maggie, please do take it away from here. Let me stop.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, let me just share screen quickly.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Oops, getting back the slides again. Oh, sorry. All right, so we are, like what Farah has mentioned just now, we are going to share 3 very inspiring Taukes in Malaysia. They are not part of like Tauke Talks by Rice. So if you are drawing these 3 Taukes for the competition, you are going to be automatically disqualified, okay? So I have to make it clear first. You are just seeing all these 3 Taukes because we don't want to bring existing Taukes from Tauke Talks to confuse you and to not show you like, oh, there's a potential to win if you draw these people, okay? So we are just gonna use like 3 different people which are pretty good and very solid and stable right now in the entrepreneur world. Okay, the first person we're gonna bring up will be Christina Ng. If you all know Christy Ng shoes, Christy Ng bags, that would be her. So Christy, she is like, a go-getter because her mom shaped her to be that, and her father had no money then. So they had to find a way to make an income. So she started her shoe business without any experience in fashion and shoe industry, which is like super admirable. And she used to work as a waitress. She could not afford comfortable shoes. And all she wanted to do is to create comfortable shoe that looks good for all women. So that is how she started with a business idea, okay? Right, so with all of these pointers here, I want to bring all of you into this part where, you would need to prepare a pen and paper for sure. I hope it's ready with you. Okay, so because we're gonna move into the first stage of, getting the idea generation out. So I know that we ask you to prepare 15 times 15 centimeter size papers. Because I'm not going to draw on this directly yet. I want to do like the idea generation phase. So what I have here is like a piece of A4 paper. I like to use rough paper, all these kind of papers. And so in a way, you're not going to waste the papers at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do now is what we call it as chunking your ideas. Okay. So, for example, you can see from my screen. Okay, I will just spotlight it. Sorry, Farah, can I check with you if I'm sharing the screen? Can they see my spotlight, or I have to enlarge it?
No. I think it's fine because I can see it.
Okay.
For you guys, just feel free to arrange your Zoom view so you can see Maggie's share screen at the same time her top view.
If it's needed, I can actually just turn off my share screen and then I can just spotlight this video. Do you think it's better? Yeah. Okay. I think I saw Rachel Patrick nodding her head.
Yeah. I think they can. So
should I?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine. We can start with this first, and then later.
Okay.
Yeah, as we go in depth, then you can turn.
All right. Cool. So what do you call by chunking your ideas? So in this case, I hope you can see what I'm writing here. Let's say today is a Sunday, right? Okay. Let me just give this very, very basic example. All right. Today is Sunday, and I can, if I want to, I can also write the date. Can anyone tell me what's the date today? 5th of September. Okay.
Even 5th.
All right. Cool. Okay. So very, very basic stuff. Today, I'll just talk about my daily routine. in this particular day. So I would split up my time and day into 3 different time frames. So I have morning, okay, and then I have afternoon. And by the way, I'm just turning the paper so it's easier for me to write. And I have evening. Okay, so this is somehow what we call it as a mind map, or you know, some of them, they would call it as chunking. So for the morning section, I have quite a number of things I need to do. Like, for example, I need to brush up, okay? Then I have, you know, breakfast. Oh. Then I have, you know, I will probably shower. And then, of course, today I have rice workshop. Okay? So this is just an example, all right? And then in the afternoon, what do I have? Lunch. And then I would have certain things like errands. Then I would go into drawing. And probably, you know, drawing would take a lot of time, so I'm just going to leave it here for now. And the evening, very importantly, I would just put dinner. All right. And then I would have things like, you know, admin work for my business. Okay. Then eventually I would have some time for TV, or maybe some, you know, craft work that I really wanted to do, and so on. So this is like a very, very basic example of what we can do with mind map. So for Christy Ng's case, you know, our entrepreneur, so I would just write Christy, because I just want to give you a very good example of how we can work with all of this stuff. Okay, so I'm just going back to this slide for now. Okay, so Christy, if you want to, you know, somehow draw it, okay, maybe she's like a stickman figure for you. Okay, yeah, that's Christy. Woohoo! Okay, let me give her a dress as well, so it looks like Christy right now. And probably if you want to make it a bit more comfortable, you can do like shoes, or maybe like high heels. So I'm so sorry. This is like, you know, very, very rough sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. This stage is basically for you to write and scribble and everything that you can think of. Like from this particular passage of these few key pointers, right? You can do all these things with just your pen and paper. All right. So the very first thing I can see is that, you know, I want to talk about her getter face. Okay, this part here. Okay, so it works on because father, no money. So this is 1 point. Okay, then her mother shape her. So in this case, if let's say you don't want to draw anything out yet, you can just write them first. It's like a very, very like, you know, it's like a very initial stage of idea generation, because I know some of you guys are like, wow, the Tauke Talk session is so long. It's like what, 1 hour, 2 hours, that kind of thing. So you want to think about, you know, times where you can just extract certain important information from all these Tauke Talk session. And this is how you do it. So this is like an example where we have already come up with the pointers for you, and then you can, you know, somehow just talk about it in that way. So maybe you can, you know, draw, you can actually put some key pointers. Maybe like, let's say you got no money here, you can just put sad face, cry. The mother shape her. Okay, not like the body shape lah, but the mother shape Christy Ng. Okay, you can use your own way to draw it out. So that one's up to you. But you just want to list down the key pointers. Okay, how can you actually form this into a picture later? All right. Okay, then after that, we want to talk about her shoe business. Okay. So mind my writing, because usually when I talk, right, I write, and then the writing will look like chicken one. I hope y'all can read my writing, yeah? Okay, so let's talk about the shoe business here. Okay, so first off, she got no experience. Like, wow, 100% zero experience. Okay, you can talk about this, and then you can just chunk it out like that. And then after that, she is basically, for me, maybe you can talk about like how she is a person here. Okay, then she think. Oh, she wants to have a shoe business, something like that. Okay, so you can start drawing some sketches here already. It doesn't have to be perfect and stuff. I know some of you are asking questions like, oh, I have no background in drawing. I can't even draw a stickman properly and stuff. Look at my stickman. Look at my stickman. Is it very perfect? It's not perfect now, right? It's okay, friend. All right. Then we talk about the time where she be a waitress. Okay, she was waiting tables and stuff because number one, shoes cannot afford. Maybe this is like a, Jimmy Choo or something. No, cannot. Then after that, it's also, she realized that the shoes that she's wearing, okay, my shoes is like, it looks like a hammer. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, yeah, my shoes, she cannot afford comfortable shoes. Or maybe the shoes that she's wearing is not comfortable. Like, for example, maybe Hush Puppy and everything, all this kind of like brands and stuff is too expensive for her to even afford that. Okay, just write it down somewhere. All right. Then eventually her business idea. Ayo, my spelling, what happened? Okay, so business idea. She wants to create comfy shoes for semua lapisan masyarakat. Okay, everybody. Okay, so this is how I would, somehow give a very, very quick breakdown of a mind map. Like it doesn't have to be extremely perfect at this phase, but what I want you to think about is when you come up with the idea like that, when you write it out already and like roughly, oh, okay, this could be a potential topic to talk about. This one topic, this one second topic, this one third topic, this one fourth topic. And you realize that I go from a clockwise direction is because your brain thinks from one particular angle first. In this case, if you are starting off from the right side, I think there is a potential for you to actually think from your left brain more. Because if you're a left brainer or right brainer, you're a bit more creative. I can't remember, right? Yeah, so that's how it works now. Okay, so you go from the right side to the left side, and it's also because we are so used to writing in text, like from one direction here. Like we always start our book ledger or like writing karangan or everything from the left side to the right side. So I want you to think from the other angle, which is like going out of your comfort zone, from starting from the right side, go all the way like a clockwise section. All right. So it's actually a pretty interesting thing that maybe whatever pointers I have here might not be your pointers. You know what I'm saying? You would see different things from what I see. And that is the very interesting thing about this entire, this entire competition, because from all the Tauke Talks that you're going to be listening to, there's a lot of them, to be honest. You want to actually think about the gist of what they're talking about. Like, what is the important key points that shows entrepreneur spirit, okay? Entrepreneur spirit is like the most important element in all the Taukes that you're gonna look into. So in this case, for Christy Ng, to me, I realized that the entrepreneur spirit comes from the waitressing part. Why? Because she couldn't find comfortable shoes, and she was a waitress then, and then she got tired of it. She got tired of this particular problem, and she's trying to solve the solution. So if I were you, I would think about this particular angle where I would draw this part, like the waitressing part, and then I couldn't afford shoes and everything. Yeah, so once you have this particular idea, so I will come up with a new piece of paper, and then I will just put like, okay, Christy Ng, waitress. Okay, so this part here, you can further go down into detail, like how do you want to plan it? Okay, maybe you want to talk about the life that she's the waitress, and she probably have like, the kaki sakit moment, like pain, like something like that. And then she wants to buy Shoes, comfy shoes. So shoes and stuff, oh, it's very, very pricey. How am I going to afford it? Then it goes into idea generation, like, okay, how about I invent a shoes? Oh, okay. Then eventually at the end, yay, idea jalan. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. So all these things is for you to draw down from, okay, all the key pointers, because the Tauke Talk session is like so long. It was about 1 or 2 hours. Is that I think 45 minutes,
No,
right?
maximum is an hour plus lah, but
Okay, an hour plus.
it's like
yeah.
around 40 minutes. Yeah.
So
But
there's
it
a
is
lot
long.
of pointers.
It's a lot of information. Yeah.
Exactly. So you would need to find time to actually look into all the Taukes that you can think about, and you can get all this information, summarize them, and then you finalize it with something like that, and then you decide, okay, this is going to be what I'm going to be drawing. Okay. So after I've been talking for a bit, right, I want to understand if you guys understand what I'm talking about, okay? And I hope that you are working along with me, because I can see Farah doing it with me, but I can't see everyone else, right? So now I'll give you about 2 minutes to try. And in the meantime, maybe Farah can play some music at the background. And then if any of you have any questions in the chat, you can always ask me. So I'm only giving like a 2-minute session, because this thing I took less than like a minute to actually draw it out. You shouldn't take too long. You should always come with your first instinct, because the moment you think too long, right, then it would not make sense already. Like the fresh idea would not be fresh anymore. It's going to be called as an over-analyzed idea. And usually an over-analyzed idea would mean that you are kind of like overthinking, and then it would make it like, okay, then you stress already, because you got problems deciding which one you want to use. Correct or not? So try to be quick, like, oh, I want this, oh, I want this. Then suddenly after that, right, you're done. Okay, then you think. Okay, I think I want to extract this into this. Something like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. I see you all nodding heads. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Natasha, Natasha, for lianing me, and also Sarah. Yeah, I can see the 3 faces only lah. If you want to see, if you want me to call your name, see you, how lang loi, how lang jai you are, please turn on your video. And if you want, oh wow, I can see Elizabeth, Hemira, Labrikuma. Wow, so many people. Good. Okay. Right. So at this point, I think it's good that if you can try out yourself. Yeah. And then after this, I will pick a volunteer. And then if you're done, right, just give me a thumbs up or like a sticker emoji or whatever, so I would know that you are done.
Yeah. Then we can. Okay, we'll start 2 minutes. So at 11:01.
Oh.
Yeah. Maggie,
I thought the 2 minutes started already when I was talking.
Then the 2 minutes over already.
Is it draw the mind map?
Yeah.
Yes, draw the mind map. Yeah, just try it out. Because
Maybe
I just gave you.
Maybe we can go back to the screen with the information, then you can refer back.
Can. No problem. Okay, use this particular pointer, right? And then you draw out your version of the mind map, okay? This is just an exercise. It was supposed to open your mind. Ooh, like mind blown. Ooh, that kind of a situation. All right, don't be stressed out. This one got no award one, right? This one is like not competition. Yeah, we're not going to compete with each other. Got no marker, so I won't give 100 points on, because there's no point to give anyways.
Here you can see, even for mine, it's like you're not looking for perfection, just jotting down your notes as you go.
Okay, let me just replace spotlight for Farah's one. Okay, Farah's one, you can see she already had a few. Yeah. So everybody's version.
The money flying away. Yeah.
And, you can explain to us lah.
Yeah, I think I also like when you say the waitress part, I was like, yeah, true. I mean, because of doing waitressing job for standing long hours, right? Then she got the idea. But then you also point out she had no experience whatsoever. So that was interesting to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How exactly do you draw out no experience? Is it a frustration emotion? Is it
Yeah.
like a clueless emotion? How exactly can you draw emotions like
You can
this
put like,
into one postcard? And it also shows entrepreneur spirit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. So these are things that you want to think further and see how you can be creative about it.
I put question mark to express the no experience.
Yeah. Because after, like deciding on the Tauke you want to work with, that is going to be the part where you have to do all these things. Of course, even when you want to select a Tauke to be part of your subject, right? You can also do this particular activity, because how many Taukes were there again? Was it like 80 plus right now?
No. We will have 80 plus by November. For now, we have around 70 plus.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
coming along.
70
Yeah,
plus Tauke. So
A
yeah,
lot.
that would also mean like 70 plus hours of you guys listening to Taukes. All right. Good luck, people.
No worries. I can show in the end how you guys how to make your life easier when choosing Taukes according to the industry from the website. Yeah, I think we can help you guys with that. No problem. But yeah, I think time is up.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Do any of you okay, so any of you wants to show your mind map so I can spotlight your video to everybody? Anybody? No?
You can,
No,
or you
no?
can just show
Yes?
your mind map.
Yeah. Rachel, do you want to show us?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool,
and
awesome. Okay,
I think
Not
Elizabeth,
really.
let's
Elizabeth is also
see.
showing.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see?
Wow. Yeah, we can see. That's
It's-
nice. Ooh, I saw the shoes there. It's really nice.
Yeah, I haven't really completed it lah, but I kind of like the idea generation side. So over here, the shoe is like expanding the idea generation side of it. So like over here,
Correct.
I actually like wrote like because I saw that she wanted to help all women, right? So for me, the entrepreneur spirit was having a mission lah. So her mission was to
Nice.
help all women, and then here was proactive. So what I noticed about Christy was she didn't just stop at being a consumer; she became a producer. So
Ooh.
yeah, so she, because many people will talk a lot, but they don't actually make the effort to solve the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then the
Right.
other thing that I wanted to also write was her proactive habit in terms of she did what was in her control, which was coming up with the business idea and also helping people through shoes lah, instead of just really relying and complaining about the current state that she was in.
That's really impressive, Rachel. Thank you so much. Like,
Most welcome.
I actually wanted to get you guys to work on this activity because it's something that would give you a bit more pointers in that case. And then look at how Rachel sees so many things in just one particular activity. It's actually pretty impressive. And I hope that you guys can also learn from that, or maybe, have your own rendition. I don't know, maybe some of you have a lot of different ideas as well. So this is actually something that I think is really, really helpful. It doesn't just apply on this particular competition, by the way. It also applies in your everyday life. Remember how I did my daily schedule as well? It's just for me to know what exactly is happening. Mind mapping has been a really, really helpful activity for me. To go with my daily lives, to remember things, and also to study as well. Like last time, you know, sejarah, we have to memorize everything, right? Oh my God. So what happens when you do all these things up is that you are creating branches in your brains. So when you have a key point, and then you would put up into a few other key points, because that would help you come up with better ideas, and then you can expand it further. So this is like a mind map version. And the other kind of version is called like chunking, like how you can see. It's also considered as chunking, but how it works is there are different ways to do it. Let's say, for example, you want to talk about MTMT, and then you can go down, she's a female, and then she's a Langloi, you know, like she has 2 dogs and stuff. You can also do it this way if you think that, you know, this particular direction is a bit too tedious for you and it's a bit too much for you to handle. So all this would be just text on it. Okay, then she got like, you know, studio, and then like, you know what, shoe business, everything. You can just continuously fill up the whole page like that. So that's actually a different kind of a method. And I like how I like how Rachel has been doing her version. It was really inspiring. Yeah, so we only have one volunteer for this section because we have to move on to the next skill. Yeah. So I hope that you guys are excited about that. So I'm going to put all these papers aside because I'm like, you know, talking too much. All right. So now let's go into pop quiz. Woohoo! Farah, do you want to ask the questions?
Yes. Are you guys ready? And this just to see if you guys pay attention at the beginning, because that's the reason why Maggie repeated something twice. So let's see. So Maggie, next slide, please.
Woo! What does MTMT stand for? Anybody knows that? Huh?
Oh, somebody got it right already.
Y'all don't Google y'all don't Google my name. Wow. Okay lah. It's quite close lah. It's quite close. Spelling is wrong. The thing is THENG. Wow, not bad, y'all. Okay. Pay attention. Okay, good. So this is the second question. It's a bit
tricky. It's a bit tricky. I will give you guys a hint. I mean, the hint is 2020. So you can quickly go to our Tauke Talks, or also you can even go to the competition website right now and have a look. I paste a link so you can.
Personally, I also don't know, guys.
She's one of the earliest one.
Hey, got a lot of hint already,
I know this is a difficult one. Yay!
Someone said 21. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice number. 21. Nice. Okay, so that is my interview number. But okay, I just want a disclaimer for a bit. Since I am the one hosting this workshop, it doesn't mean that if you draw me or if you talk about me in the competition, you will win, okay? I am not the judge, guys. I'm probably just a topic or content, but you don't use me as an example. And then must draw Maggie. And you have to draw other people also, okay? I'm not the only person you can draw. There's 70 other Taukes for you to draw. Okay, I am just one small potato, okay? All right.
Unless Maggie really inspire you after this, I want to draw Maggie. Go ahead. No problem.
If you all want, even after competition, you can draw me and you send to me. Not part of competition, okay? All right. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next section.
Yes.
Okay. We have a second inspiring Tauke here. So this is Raisa Shah. Okay, I don't know. Some of you might have heard of her, some of you might not. So she is the serious entrepreneur of Orchid Cosmetic. She started selling her custom design shoes and clothing in MySpace in 2007. Started her path in advertising and venture into her own startups in advertising and tech. And she believes that having an interest is essential to a company's growth. Okay, knowledge and experience comes after believing in your own brand and purpose. So you can see a lot of these things. For example, how exactly do you draw advertising and venture again? You know, this is like something does not make sense. How to draw advertising? Like, does that mean if you draw Facebook icon, Instagram icon, or the website icon is advertising already? But does it show entrepreneur spirit at all or not? Okay, so I will go into the very next skill that you can also potentially consider for your postcard. See? Okay, so work with typography. All right. So I know some of you would be like, "Oh, this Tauke talks so much about the what technology. Then they want me to draw what computer Huh? I don't know how to draw. Like what else? What like huh? How? Okay, never mind. We are here to help you. So let's say, for example, this Tauke, right? They very very knowledgeable. Then they talk a lot. They talk so much, right? Until you can take one particular sentence as a phrase. So let's say, for example, Raisa actually talked about a few phrases just now, which is really, 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 really crucial. And you can see, for example, maybe the person said, nothing will work unless you do. This is the part where you design the phrase and design the quote into something like that. So what I'm showing you here is a bit more on the digital side. Of course, you can also draw it. This is a bit more on the different particular angle, because when the person talks about a phrase, confirm you're gonna copy and paste from somewhere already, unless you're going to copy the font. So try not to, copy things from the internet. I'm just putting it here as a reference for you to see. Okay, so in this case, right, I will give you a particular tip. Okay, not particular, a few tips. Okay, you want to extract quotes or your favorite phrases from your selected Tauke. Let's say, for example, you go and scroll Tauke Talks for like, okay, let's say about 70 plus people. Then you go and select Tauke number 35. Okay, then you listen to the Tauke. Hey, all these Tauke, they talk so interesting. Okay, then you list down all the sentences. So for example, right, I'll just list down the phrase. Maybe they say, walk the talk. Okay, this is number one. Do more than you expect. Okay, and consistency. All right, so another one is probably like passion is not money. Okay, I just put like 4 phrases here. So with all of these 4 phrases, right, you can look into which one relates to you more. Say, for example, you go into your room, you want to see these quotes every day. Like, walk the talk. You open the door, it's right in front of your study table. Or like, okay. This Tauke sentence, right, is so inspiring. I want this to be my entry. Okay. Then, okay, let's say you got 4 now, and then you want to look into just maybe put 2 out first. Okay, maybe I want to do like one minimalist one. Okay, one phrase is enough already. Then another one is like walk the talk. Okay, so I'll just look into walk the talk consistency, and then the other 2 you can keep it somewhere, maybe in your notebook or diary or whatsoever. Then you can talk about that in the future later. So now, when it comes to getting the idea out, so let's say our paper is 15 times 15, right? This is just drafting, by the way. You don't have to draw out first. So let's say you want to do walk the talk. So this is like it's aligning in the center. You can see 15 times 15 cm here, and then like another one is like consistency. So consistency. So what you can do is, like how I showed you just now, here, you want to try and work with some particular designs with this particular font here, like this particular sentence here. So in this case, right, okay, I'm just going to bring in my paper now, my 15 times 15 centimeter paper. Okay, I will want to draft out something with my pencil now. I hope you can see. If not, I'll just use my pen now, okay? Right, so I get all these papers ready. And let's say, for example, this is just drafting because I got pencil, but I'm scared you cannot see what I'm doing now, okay? So maybe I'll just, work around, okay? I'll make it into like a bold font or something like that. Everybody's interpretation is very different. So don't feel pressured by everyone's ideas. So this is just like a very, very quick. Then talk. Maybe talk, right? You want to put a person's face, girl, or something. Like, okay, so maybe I'll just be quick. Okay, so I could, potentially put like a mouth here or something like around here. Then maybe like a foot somewhere here. Okay, something like that. So you can add on like elements like that into the picture and you can decorate it over and over again. So it really depends on what kind of things you want to do when it comes to typography. You can fill up the entire paper, up to you. But of course, when it comes to typography, there's a lot of ways you can work with it. The most commonly used one is like aligning it into center. So something that could fit into the frame would be an ideal thing for you to work around with. So let's say you have like, a very, very long phrase, okay? And then you want to fill out the entire thing. You have to, agak-agak lah, like for me, what I like to use is ruler and a pencil. So in this case, right, let's say I don't want the particular words to fill up my paper. So what I'll do is I'll just draw borders first around here. Then you would know like, okay, you don't want to touch into all of these border areas and all of your things would be into the center of this image. If you want, you can also use masking tape to help you out. So you would know like, oh, okay, these are the areas that I don't want to touch for the paper. And that will help you with the alignment. So you make sure that everything you draw is within this frame here. I'll just use, a pen, a colored pen so that you know what I'm doing here. All right. A lot of things that we're doing right now is very much on the very drafting phase. I'm not going to be telling you, I'm not going to be showing you a full on finished work. So for example here, what you can do is you can finish up the whole thing. Can someone give me a very, very long phrase? I'll just give you an example. Anyone with a very, very long phrase that I can, refer it to? Yeah? No? Okay, now
we can try one of these. I think the
sky tells me.
I think someone commented.
When there's a will, there's a way. Okay. So you want to try and block out the part lah. So when there's a will, there's a way. Okay, when there's a will, there's a way. There's about 7 words, right? Okay, what you can do is you can try and chunk it up like, okay, when there's a will, there's a way.
So you agak-agak right now lah, basically.
Yeah, agak-agak. Can you all see my pencil? Okay, never mind. Let's use my pen. Cause very light. So maybe like, okay, this is when there's a will, there's a way. So I try to, agak-agak in this kind of particular format. Then you can fill up the spots like that. So it doesn't mean that when it comes to competitions like that, then you can, just draw. And then without knowing that, okay, you know what, typography is also considered as design, as drawing as well. So this is actually an idea for you to look into and don't get too, too stressed out by, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect and stuff. Look at what I'm doing here. It's not even perfect. You have to come to a particular few final ideas, then only you can eventually refine the ideas and then make it into something that makes sense. Okay, so this one's like 3 words only. 3 words only is very simple, like just not that 1 word consistency, just smack it in the middle lah. If you want, you can just either do it on the side or something, up to you. All right, I'll talk about that more later, but now I want you all to try out. Okay, so this is actually a quote from Raisa. Okay, you can see like how long is it. You don't have to compare yourself or your brand to others. This is like, and then she continues with, it's not about how fast you grow, but how consistent you are. So this one, right, in this long phrase, you have 2 ways. You can choose to write everything, or you can choose to break it into 2 sentences. So in this case, right, I will come back to my paper again. Okay, I'll come back to one particular area. So I'm just going to quickly draw out the border lah. You can do whatever you feel like doing, but for me, I like to have the borders empty. If you want to fill up the entire paper, also can. That one is up to you. All right.
And this can even be like
I
two
will
separate
talk about
quotes.
the yes, yeah. I was just telling them the 2 separate quotes part because it's very, very long. So like a 15 times 15 paper, what can you write inside here? What I'll do is I will break it down, okay? So for example, you don't have to compare yourself or your brand to others. Wow, this is 11 words, man. Okay, 11 words. Let's figure out how to actually put them. And you can see which one you want to highlight. So say for example, right, I have, okay, I'm just gonna write this on the rough paper here. So it says, you don't have to compare yourself or your brand to others. So in this case, because I have 10 words, right, what I want to do is I want to highlight the bigger words. So you see from the example here, right, here, you can see how some of the words are being enlarged. I want it to be like my dramatic words. So in this case, let's say the first picture, nothing will
come back to the sentence there.
Huh?
That sentence just now. Sentence.
Oh yeah.
You mean the quote?
Yeah, the quote here. Oh, I'm actually giving an example to everyone, by the way. So I will come back to this quote later. Is that okay? Okay. So if you can see, right, I am actually looking into the sizes, like how I'm putting nothing will work unless you do. You can see like the nothing will work unless this first 4 lines, they are actually quite consistent with the sizes. But when it comes to the letter do, this do part is the biggest out of the entire picture. So this is actually one example. And then the middle one, you can see like the sky tells me there are no limits and curiosity tells me to explore. Okay, so this one also shows that there's 2 different phrases. And you can see like curiosity, explore, and the sky, they are the biggest words in this particular phrase. So very interesting as well. Here, this part here, writing history is as important as making history. So history is like a duplication, right? So you can actually kind of like have the consistency there. And writing and making is something like, when you stand from far, right? You can also see like, oh, okay, this is what you're supposed to be highlighting. Even when you stand super far away, you can still see writing history, making history, these 2 words. This is the thing, we call it as highlighting the text. So in this case, right, for this particular phrase, I can choose to highlight don't have to, or maybe like compare your brand. Okay, so don't have to compare your brand. This one, these few writings are what I want to highlight. Can you guys see? Because my pen might be a bit light. Don't have to compare your brand. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe I'll just add 2 as well. Okay, don't have to compare your brand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So in this case, when I come into the drafting phase, so maybe my you will be small, then don't have to will be big. Okay. Don't have, maybe I'll put 2 here then. Then compare, I'll make it super big. yourself or your brand
Don't
to
compare yourself.
others. Okay,
Don't
can you guys
compare.
see?
So-
Someone's actually saying something, is it?
I'm not-
All right,
she
okay,
would-
cool.
yeah, it's fine.
I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so like the blocking, because I think sometimes when I'm using this kind of light colored colors, right, then I don't know if you can see me. All right, so you can see like how you don't have to compare yourself or your brand to others. So I'll just roughly put it in like, okay, maybe you don't have to, then maybe like compare yourself or your brand to others. Does that make sense? This is kind of like how you can block the image out. Okay, let me just make it a bit more clearer when it comes to the borderline. The borderline is just optional because I don't want to exceed the border. I want everything to be within this border. So this is how I would kind of like, idea generate my code into this particular, framework. So I think I can let all of you try it out as well. You can, choose this particular phrase, or if you have some phrases that you are already living by it. Let's say, this is it, or like, when there's a will, there's a way. Someone was actually talking about that just now. You can actually try it out from your end. And then maybe perhaps you can share with me, like how would you put them into a postcard size of like 15 times 15 centimeters. All right, it's going to be a good activity for you to actually figure out like, okay, how to highlight the parts or the words that means more to you. Like these are all the powerful words, and you want to, kind of like highlight them and make it like, oh, okay, this is something I think that must be highlighted, and this is something that would inspire me to go further and stuff. All right. So far, because there's a lot of other people in the session as well, I don't know if you guys actually have questions.
Can I ask a question? How about the border? How about the CM of the border, the line?
The border, like I told you just now, it was just an optional method. Like it doesn't have to be in this particular frame. I'm putting it in here because I don't want my font to exceed the paper. If you know what I'm saying. So for example, right, because sometimes when we draw, maybe you will be like, you don't have. You don't have to, so you don't really have like a format there. So if you want to do that also, up to you. But I want it to be like I have a borderline there so that it makes sense for me to make it a bit more neater. If you can see from the examples just now, I show you just as well. Okay, so the examples here, you can see like there's like borders here. It was specifically left there so that you wouldn't go out of frame. So if you want to do it in a way where you can exceed the entire thing, like yourself or your brand to others. Okay, you can also do something like that. You can maximize the space. Okay, so it doesn't really matter like how you interpret it. The main thing is how you want to highlight the thing. It can be the whole piece of paper. The border is just optional. Does that make sense? Yeah? All right, cool. Anyone else with any question? Let's just spy Farah's version. Ooh.
Well, I don't know if you can see lah. Wait,
Yeah, I think we can.
even mine is super messy. I was having a hard time trying to put it into a composition, so I'll underline it so you can see my name.
It's okay. Like all of these things, right? It may look like it's very vulnerable to you at first. You're like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do. It's okay because everybody will go through this phase. It's normal. So there's no perfection in whatever we do, but main thing is that you are learning from it and you're willing to do it. So that's more important personally, I feel. Yeah, I think you wrote like fast, you grow.
I took the
and
second part of the
consistent.
quote. Yeah, I took the second part of the quote.
Which one? Oh, it's not about how
The-
fast you grow,
Yeah,
but
it's
how
not about how
consistent
fast you
are.
grow. So I think I want to
Ah.
highlight I think if I were to do the next draft, I would want to
Mm.
really maybe play around with the consistency. Maybe it will be different typography. The consistent and then how fast you grow.
Right.
Or
So
maybe just
like
the word grow.
yeah, like the fact that when you started to put them on paper, you would realize like, okay, sometimes expectation and reality is very different. You would
Yeah.
be like, okay, I want to highlight this, right? But then you start drawing, right? It doesn't make sense already. It's like, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
You know? So it's the kind of thing where you want to also explore. Maybe this quote might mean even more after you draw it out. You don't know. So it's all about practice and eventually coming to a particular, kind of like outcome that you sort of like see, okay, this might be making sense. Oh, are you guys also trying out, by the way? I see that
Yeah,
everybody's
if anyone's
trying.
trying out, we would
Yeah.
love to see it. Please do show us. I think
Oh,
Elizabeth.
right.
But we
Let's
can't
see.
see because of your background.
Oh, where's her video, by the way?
I cannot see.
Could you
Let
turn off
me-
your background though? We can't see it.
Wait. How to set the background?
You
Background.
go to your video at the bottom. You know that's a line pointing up.
Okay.
You choose a background,
Okay.
virtual background. Yeah, just click none. Then we can see. I think also yeah, a few people in the comments also yes. So anyone also willing to just turn your camera, just show us from overview. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want. Just
You can
for us
just
to know.
you can just show and then not talk, and then I'll be like trying to decode what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we have a hot air balloon.
Wait, Nick, Natasha, so I cannot see your background. Siti Zulaika. Wow, that's actually nice. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah, who else? Nurul Atika. Oh, right. So it's not how fast you grow. Nice. I can see it. Wow, Natasha. Yes, that's nice. I like how you're chunking them out. And wow, look at one Maizatu Akmal. She made it into a diamond shape. I kind of like that idea as well. That's actually quite cool. That's amazing. Nurul's one is super blur. Nurul, what are you doing? Like mosaic yourself?
Because the background, the background is blurred. Yeah.
Okay. It's good. Thank you so much for showing me. I like this. I like this. What do you call it? Participation. Ooh. I think y'all can see. Maybe
and
y'all
also
see
creative.
how. Maybe y'all can see how like inspired you get because my handwriting. My handwriting is like next level crazy. Oh, Nur Matisha, are you doing it on iPad?
Yeah, wow.
Wow, that's nice.
With digital iPad, I mean with digital drawing is a lot more faster.
Yeah, it's Nur Mashita, right? Sorry, I actually mispronounced the name.
Yeah, great.
Rachel, you have something for us?
Yeah, she showed the hot air balloon.
I didn't see it just now. Oh, wow, that's nice. Awesome. I love it.
And this is only like their first draft, yeah, and they already have ideas.
I can already see how you are winning the competition already. I can keep mine away already. but I hope that it's also a way that you guys can see more ideas, like how to actually enroll into it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I think they're ready for the next session, right, Maggie? They're like all warmed up now.
I saw Elizabeth one. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I like how you've done like some shadings and stuff. Awesome. Good job. Okay. So I've already gone through the volunteers, a lot of volunteers this time. I'm like so happy you guys are participating. we haven't even used colors yet, by the way. I was like,
Yeah,
my
which
colors
is
are here. My colors are
coming
here,
up.
but I'm not using.
Coming up.
All right, so before we go into that, let's do a pop quiz first, okay? Very quick one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone can tell me
So-
what's the deadline?
Anyway.
November 3rd, right?
November 3rd? Is
Oh.
it true?
Let's.
No, I know
Okay.
it's November.
You know it's November. Okay. November is
Eh,
good, correct?
Who said 12 September?
Oh, like, can't wait to submit, is it?
Yeah, you can start submitting. That's your deadline, okay?
Yeah. Do set your own deadline. Like, don't submit exactly. So yes, the deadline is 12th November 2021. So you still have like 2 months lah, okay?
Yeah.
And yeah, so and the timing is the closing is 11:59 p.m. Yeah, so if you submit at 12, we will not accept it anymore. So do not do last minute, yeah. And what about the next question? We have another pop quiz.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also ask this. So how many entries are you allowed to submit for this competition? Anyone know?
2.
Yeah, I see. Okay, 2. Correct.
Oh,
Good.
nice.
Means you've been reading. Good job. Yes, so you
Awesome.
are allowed. So, but do keep in mind, each postcard you can only feature one Tauke from one Tauke Talks. You cannot feature 2 Tauke from 2 Tauke Talks. So you must only feature one Tauke from one of the Tauke Talks. But yes, you may submit 2 entries, and we only accept your 2 latest entries. All right, great.
So in this case, maybe one of you want to draw one, and then another one you want to do typography, or you want to submit both typography, or you want to submit both drawing. Up to you. It's multiple mediums, any kinds, digital, traditional, watercolor, crayon, color pencil, whatever you can think of. You can even do collage if you want. So there's no limitation. It's really up to your creative is your limit. Okay, no, your creativity. The sky is not even the limit. You can just limit yourself. No, don't say that. Okay, technically it's like, you can do a lot of things. All right. So I just put it there lah. I don't talk so much.
But do keep in mind. I also want to point out, if you guys look at our terms and conditions for collages, right? Do keep in mind, we do not encourage you to take photo. Like, for example, you cannot just take a photo and then paste it in the postcard. Like, no pictures are allowed. And if you do like collages, I think Maggie means in terms of like, cutting paste.
Yes.
Yeah, cutting paste from like magazines lah, newspaper.
Color paper,
that you can. Yeah,
correct.
that you can. Yeah, okay. So
maybe
maybe
your font or everything, maybe you can see compare a newspaper you cut. Wow, compare is here. Uy, not bad, huh?
Yeah,
that kind of thing is allowed. All right.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so the next session, which is like the third and final section of today, is ta-da! We have a third inspiring Tauke.
Bring out all your colors this time, guys. We're gonna be gonna be drawing a lot more. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to talk about Mr. Lee Tiamua. He is actually the founder of 99 Speed Mart. All right. So Mr. Lee, he was born with polio disease to his central nervous system at 8 months old, and he couldn't go to secondary school because of the traveling burden. So at the age of 23, he opened his first sundry shop, and 5 years later, he sold his sundry shop and started Pasar Mini 99. So that's kind of like a very beginning, summary of Mr. Lee. There's definitely more things to talk about Mr. Lee, but we're just going to put up something like that. So similarly, we can go through the idea generation phase, like what we did just now here. But because I don't want to, take up too much time for this particular segment, I will jump straight into the skill set of what you can work with this particular Tauke. Assuming you have already done the idea generation, the mind mapping session that we did in the first part just now. Okay? And now I want to talk to you about what we call it as the rule of thirds. So, rule of thirds is a compositional guideline that breaks an image into thirds, horizontally, vertically, up to you, and you have about 9 pieces and 4 grid lines. So according to the rule, positioning key elements along the grid lines, you end up with better composition. In the next Okay, maybe right now you're gonna ask, Maggie, what talking you? I no understand. Is this English? Is this Bahasa? Is this like Mandarin? And I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm here to save you. Okay, so usually it's a bit more common when you talk about rule of thirds for videography, for photography and whatnot. And to be honest, it's also the same when it comes to painting as well. So painting, drawing, or sketching, ideas, whatnot, it's actually the same. So notice that, you know, papers, you can have grid lines. Sometimes when you take photos, your camera will have the particular grid lines or so. You can choose to have that. It's up to you. Then you can see, why is this, you know, like flower on this right side here looking so amazing to you? Like, wow, how come this picture is like, wow, damn chun, so awesome. Woo. Because they comply with the rule of thirds. So in this case, because this one is a horizontally placed picture, you know, paper, what you can do is just to flip it to vertical. And when I talk about rule of thirds, right, is that, you know, the entire picture would take up one third of this picture would not be, you know, with anything, and the 2/3 here would be occupied. So in this case, right, you can see from this particular flower here. So this area here is a bit blank out, and the main subject here is taking up 2 parts of this particular image. Does that make sense? So that is how you can figure out, okay, how do you want to do placements of your object, your subject, and how do you want to, you know, give out your typography, your painting and whatnot. So all of these things is, you know, like very, very basic rules for you to look into. And okay, so there's also different kinds where you are aligning them into center. So in this particular example, you have them in like this particular center area here. So the 1/3 is now on the side of the dog, you know, this image here. So everything was a bit more focused in this middle section here, and the 1/3 empty space is on the outside here. Does that make sense to all of you? All right. Okay. So you can see from very famous paintings of, like, you know, ancient times of artists, how they do this rule of thirds, you know, concept. See how that the sheep or the yak, it's actually around this part of the picture, and you see how much of space the artist gave in this particular image. You see, like here, there's a few things to actually look into. This part would be the subject, and then here would be the background, and then here's like a tiny thing. You're not sure what it is, but it looks like a boat, something like that. This is like, you know, how a person, a viewer, can try and decode what the artist is trying to talk about, you know? And similarly on this side, like this painting here, you can see 2 particular subjects. So one is the humans here, and another is this plane here. All right, these 2 things would be the highlight of this image. And here, of course, it's also like an important element here, but it's mainly looking more like, you know, a supplementary kind of a background. So in this case, it's something that would be, you know, neutralizing the main character, because the main character is 1 and 2 here. You want to try and focus, and you can see like how the main characters is actually on this interjunction of this line as well over here. Okay, so these are certain things when it comes to you know, trying to figure out how you want to do placement of your object, your subject and whatnot in your background. This is how you can get yourself into this what do you call it, allocation. All right, sorry, that's confirmed not COVID, okay? I just choked myself. Anyway, so yeah, more examples. So this one is playing more of the rule of thirds here. The subject is actually taking up 2/3 of this particular grid line. So this is the space out area. It's a top part here is like, you know, it's not taking up too much space. So the main characters are all below here, which is only 2/3 of the particular image. All right. And on this side here, the right side here, You can see this part here is completely blank. And then they put this, subject around this corner. It's also okay if you put it at the corner, and then this part you can also kind of like leave it blank. But they don't leave it blank completely, they're going to put one, like this bucket here. So it just gives you like, instead of making it extremely empty, just chuck something there. But it doesn't mean you can chuck anything, like, I don't know, maybe for the particular Tauke, the Tauke talk about, entrepreneur spirit. Suddenly they talk about, their stomach pain. Then you don't go and draw a toilet bowl there, because it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be relevant, right? Like, it's not like you suka, then you go and do this kind of weird stuff. Like, how are we going to judge you also? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So these are the things that you want to see relevancy and whatnot. Of course, maybe these dancers here, they're going to use this as like a prop for their performance. Sometimes when you dance, you would take like 3 branches, you would be like a tree, something like that. You wouldn't know. So it's okay with this elements of randomness here. But like I said, unless the Tauke talks about that and it really gels together with the painting or the image that you plan to draw, then okay, by all means do that. Like I said, no vulgarity, no crude stuff, no crude elements. So be careful, because it might lead you to disqualification, okay? All right, so now that was like the first part of the tip. And the next thing is going to be color selection. After understanding, how you want to allocate your particular thing into the grid lines and whatnot, you want to select a color that would make sense for your entire image. And because this is just one piece of paper, it's like one frame only. It's a bit different from you showing off a few different frames like a comic, right? So you only have one shot, like one chance. In 3 seconds, if the person who sees your painting cannot understand what you're trying to say, then it's going to be a bit of a Or you can also see in a way where you want the audience to be able to decode a lot of things in your particular image as well. So maybe it's just a simple char kway teow, but then you can feel the emotions. You can cry from it, like that kind of thing. You want people to feel like, oh, I miss home, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So these are certain things that colors will evoke your emotions, So I want to give you a couple of examples. So if you can see from my highlight, right? Can anyone tell me, okay. Can anyone tell me what kind of colors, what kind of emotions can you get from these few colors? What kind of emotions can you get from these few colors? Warm, okay, yeah, thank you. Right, warmful, wow, warmful. I feel so warmful now. All right, bright, peace, energetic, hungry, anger, happiness, awesome. Hungry, yes. Hungry. You see what McDonald's did to their packaging? It's red, right? Come on. And it's always like, this is like fries for red color, and this the golden arch is also a yellow color. So it's actually correct. Some of you are telling me that, oh, it's a bright, cheerful color. It shows you warmful. Okay, actually, warmful is not a word lah, but warm, WARMTH, warm. Okay, and then passionate, and it's like a sunset feel and whatnot. So these are colors where it would evoke emotions of what you guys have spoken about just now. So, sorry, I just flew my pen over there. All right, the next colors I want to talk about would be, okay, these few colors. All right. Yeah. Okay, so these few colors. Okay, I want to know, like, what do you guys know about these colors in the middle? What kind of emotions can you get from these colors? Anyone? Oh, I see a lot of people. Cool, calmness, cool. Tranquility, nice. Later. Oh, cool. Ice, blue, very nice. The movie Inside Out. Oh yeah, actually you have a point. Yes, I like it. I just watched that movie again. I love it so much. Anyways, yes, amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, it's very similar to this color here that I've shown you on this side, right? It's very peaceful. It's very like tranquil. It's like serenity. Ooh, like you would want to look into this when you want to go into a very calm state. So this kind of colors will get you into that particular state. And will you be able to showcase inspiring Taukes through all these colors? Or through all these colors? It depends on you. There is no right and wrong answer, by the way. I'm not going to tell you like, oh, it has to be these colors, because no, I am not the person that dictates your creativity, okay? This applies to both your typography, your painting, your digital art and whatnot, or your collage and stuff. That is that. Okay, so of course, there's actually one more color that I didn't actually put out. So this color, all right? This color. So this color, of course, you can do like the ultimate extreme, black and white, okay? So black and white. I'm not very sure if you can evoke emotions in your particular postcard, because black and white colors, they are usually a color that is related to, someone can tell me? Can someone tell me? The rules? Oh yeah, rules.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rules, depth, yin and yang, mystery, neutral. Yes. Okay, that's really, really good. But thank you so much for your participation, everybody. Yes. So I don't know if any of the Taukes actually talk about that. I don't know if any of the Taukes talk about rules and regulation, but it could be, you know, an idea for you to work around with, because this is actually something, I call it as a very strong color. And usually, you know, even for people who uses this color a lot on their creation, I also would, you know, show my concerns as well. You know, it's not about like, maybe it's a monotonous one, maybe it's a neutral tone, maybe the person is very minimalist, I don't know. But excessive usage of this color, okay, and this color will give me chills, okay? So I don't know, if you are able to portray something within these two colors, that would be great. But you know, I don't want you to go towards the direction where it's too depressing as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So always practice cautious when it comes to colors, because colors are the livelihood of everything. We are surrounded by colors, and we can see colors because you know, the scientific reaction and whatnot, you know, you done in school, because got the sun, got the moon, and then you got this uniform thing, wow. And actually everything is all white color. You have to go back to science class, okay? Because my science also go back to school already. Anyways, so yeah, but when it comes to color selection, right, I think it plays a very, very important part, because you can do a lot of things with colors. I know some of you might be colorblind. Anyone here is colorblind? Maybe you can only see certain color pigments. It's also cool because I know some people who cannot see colors like red, cannot see colors like green, these two colors. It's okay. You can use the colors that would make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really mean that you're colorblind, then you cannot do a lot of things. I have been teaching so many colorblind I've been teaching a lot of colorblind students, and they are also okay with everything. So it doesn't mean that this is a limitation for you. All right. Okay. So now I know some of you might be asking, okay, how do I match the colors and stuff? So there's a tool which is really, really helpful. It's called the Adobe color selection tool. So you can check out, there's a link down here. Maybe Farah, you can share the link as well. Yeah, in the chat. So this tool can actually help you to decide, okay, what tones or what colors would look good in the particular framework. Let's say you want to try and combine two of these colors. Maybe you want to do like one warm color, one cool color into the particular image. You can do so. So you can use the help of this Adobe color to help you to decide on the color. Okay. Right, I'm not going to tell you how to use it, because this one, once you go into the site, you can kind of like explore it by yourself. And today is not a 101 on how to use Adobe Color, okay? All right, okay. Yeah. So another thing would be perspective. okay, I might need to rush through it because we're kind of like very close to the end of the session already. So mind my speed, but okay, I hope the rest team can give me a little bit more
No
extra time.
problem. Yeah. I hope
Okay,
everyone's okay.
so-
Also, we'll go over time a little bit, but
Yeah,
this is an interesting point. I think it's important. So
yeah,
go
okay.
for it, Maggie.
So because we talk about all of these things here, right? And when it comes to, you know, drawing out certain things, so for example, I want to draw Mr. Lee, okay? Mr. Lee, okay, maybe I'll just give him like this. So I will try and put Mr. Lee into this image here, and because he's actually like, you know, wheelchair bound or something, so I would do something like that, right? Then in this case, you know, I can somehow put him as an image here, right? So you can see like how I'm using the rule of thirds in this case. Okay, so I actually drew the grid line to assist me. The grid lines, right, can be a pencil image, it's up to you. So what you can do is, you know, you want to try and draw like, you know, Mr. Lee and stuff. It could be, you know, he is on a desk, right? Okay, because entrepreneur spirit, right? On a desk and he's like counting money. Oh, counting money, something like that. And I'm just giving an example here for you to see like how can you use the rule of thirds, okay, to compose your image in this case. And of course, there's a lot of other ways. Maybe you want to draw like Speed Mart 99. Okay, it could be like the Speed Mart 99 outlet here. Okay, you know, Speed Mart 1999. March 99. So it could be buildings as well of the particular unit. And then maybe Mr. Lee is like located around this direction here. Something like that. Okay, if you can see. So these are like, you know, some of the examples. You can see like, okay, I'm actually using two different colors here. One is a warm, you know, like the green color, the brand color of Speedmart. And then here is the person. So it really depends on how you want to use the rule of thirds in this particular direction here. So you see like how our paper is 15 times 15 centimeters. So each of these boxes here is 5 millimeter, 5 centimeters for me, right? So you can try out all these activities. It doesn't really matter if you have the grid lines or not. It's just a guidance, a reference for you to work around with, okay? So like for perspective as well, okay, 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, all these things actually is a very, very, very basic, you know, like drawing techniques for when you want to come up with an idea and whatnot. So 1 point perspective, there's like one vanishing point. So in this case, maybe I will just give an example. One vanishing point here, you can draw out, okay, certain things. Maybe this is a room, or maybe like this is a corner of maybe, okay, let's say this is Christy Ng, something like that. She's hustling at her particular unit with all the shoes all lined up, something like that. So by the way, my alignment here is very, very rough sketch. So don't follow it like 100%. Okay, so maybe this is Christy Ng, something like that. Okay, so these are what we call it as perspective drawing. You can, of course, Google up more and figure out like how exactly it's being done. I'm just giving you an example here. I'm pretty sure you have learned this when you're in high school, or maybe like in your art subjects when you are in classes. Maybe you didn't pay attention, or maybe you're like, I don't remember this, but it's okay. You can always look up to Google. Okay, like you see, for examples, how people uses 1 point perspective to show so much in one particular image. Okay, so a lot of these examples here, they are like in a horizontal image, but your submission is a square paper submission. Are you able to come up with a 1 point perspective into it? That's really your skill already. Okay, right. So this is 1 point perspective. There's also like 2 point perspective, 3 point perspective. So there's a lot to talk about, to be honest. And I want you to probably note it down somewhere. And then you can probably do your own research on Google or like any YouTube and whatnot to understand, oh, okay, so this is what we call it as. vanishing point, the horizon, and whatnot. So it would really, really help when you combine the grid lines and the perspective into the drawing to actually make it look more appealing to the audience or maybe to the judges. Okay. Maybe it might not be you trying to impress the judges. Maybe it's just you trying to explore different kinds of like skill sets. That is actually going to be a good thing already, you know? So don't give yourself too much of pressure, because honestly, the more expectation you put into, but when you don't achieve that, then it would be a bit more of a disappointment. So I would say, like, you know, treat this as an exercise, treat this as an experience. Don't push yourself too hard. Okay. So everybody always starts somewhere, and this might be your starting point for something even bigger in the future. So always encourage yourself and don't beat yourself too hard. Okay. Right. So these are some 2-point perspective examples. I'm going to roughly go through it because, you know, like how you have a couple of subjects in the picture and you want to understand if your human figure is actually correct up to the ratio that you're expecting it to be. You can use 2-point perspective in that sense. Okay, right. So now I have quickly went through everything that I wanted to say, and we are now at the Q&A section.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I felt like it was a lot to digest.
It is a lot to digest. I mean, I personally felt like that even like those topics, it can be a session itself already. It's like a very huge topic to talk about, but I wanted to bring it out because all of you would have a couple of like pointers to actually create this, and then perhaps you can explore it from your end. But of course, if you need more sessions, then tell the RISE team lah,
Yes, if there's a high demand, we can try to make something happen. But again, I mean, what Maggie have shown you guys today is, you know, introduced to maybe some of you are not familiar with rule of third, you know, you can also explore at your own time. If you're not familiar with, you know, she said like 1 point perspective, 2 point, 3 points. There's a lot of other tutorials in depth. So these are just like an introduction to you. And definitely, I think when you point out colors, right, that's like super important, because sometimes we see, you know, like people have amazing story to tell, but then the color they choose is not supporting the story, you know? So you kind of get like mixed message, like, wait, am I supposed to feel sad? Or actually this is a happy story, you know?
So don't be that kind of like, you know, the person who killed your picture because you chose the wrong color, you know? So you want to be careful when it comes to choosing the colors.
And definitely like the tool that you gave is good lah. So when you're drawing your drawing, right, think of what's the emotion you want to evoke to the audience. So according to the emotion, then you go to use like the Adobe color tools and choose that. Okay, I will work with warm because I want to focus on happiness, positivity, you know, inspiration. I think that's a good way to go lah, to not be overwhelmed also, because color can be very overwhelming for a lot of people, I can imagine. So I think thank you so much, Maggie. That was like a lot to unfold, and definitely it requires a lot of practice. So don't worry. Again, like you see, none of us actually, you know, have like a full finished work, because today is mainly just to like draft out ideas, you know, to give you ideas, and hopefully from today onwards, you guys it's okay. Have more ideas to move forward with. And actually you can stop share. And I received like we received a few questions lah. So while you guys are thinking about some questions that you might have for Maggie, I would just answer a few questions for the competition. So I think one of the most common asked questions that we received from the past couple of days, people are confused about the difference between the summary. There's a 50 words and then 250 words. So the 50-word summary is basically about your artwork. So let's say this is my artwork. So describe it in 50 words lah. My artwork is about this and this and this. Whereas like 250 words, that is actually your message for the Tauke, like what have you learned from the Tauke? What, you know, what inspire you about the Tauke? So that's why we said for the 250 word, you must start with Dear Tauke. So write it as in a way that you are writing to the Tauke itself. So for example, if you're writing to Maggie, think as if you're writing to Maggie lah. So, so yeah, must start with Dear Tauke lah. So I hope that's a bit clear. And then regarding the written,
are they gonna write me? Are they gonna write me like love letters lah?
I mean, if they
don't
want
naughty,
to,
naughty,
but make sure it's And another question before I let Elizabeth to ask is where do you write this? So you don't write it in your actual postcard. So when you submit, you only submit your digital scan. If you do it physical drawing, just scan it and then submit as a JPEG, and do check out the guidelines and the requirements. For the writing, you do not have to write it in the postcard, you just write it in the submission form. So all the text, everything is in the registration form. All you have to prepare beforehand is your drawing itself. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so Elizabeth, do you have a question?
I have few questions. Question number one is just now when Maggie say, is it one Tauke for several artworks?
No, I think we answered that earlier. So you can submit 2 entries, right? So you can do 1 Tauke each for each 1 entry. So if you want to do 1 Tauke for both entries, also can, no problem.
Oh, also okay.
Yeah.
1 Tauke also only 1 or maybe 2 also can. Another question is how to get inspiration. Is it from the IG for your official IG about the Tauke lah?
Yeah, okay, I can show you guys to answer your question. Yeah. I think inspiration per se, it's a bit hard to kind of tell you, how to get inspiration. But one way to start with is actually go to the website itself. So if you go to the website, right, you can go to Tauke Talks tab. So here we list down all the Taukes according to their industry. So maybe if you are looking for certain inspiration, you can start with the industry you're interested in. So for example, if you love, let's say you love fashion and beauty, you can start with here. So because if you start with something that you're already interested in, it's more likely that you will also be more engaged to the Tauke story, right? Then you can pick from any of the Tauke here. You don't have to watch all Tauke Talks. We know it's a lot, so just pick one. Maybe some of this you already know the Tauke, then go ahead and pick one. Yeah, so this will be a good way to start. And so let's say when you start, or you can just quickly look them up. So for example, you saw Fatini Lashpin. I never heard of her, but I want to check her out. So quickly check her Instagram. Say, I actually like her business. I actually like her work. I want to watch a Tauke Talks. Yeah, that would be a good way to go lah. So I hope this will be a starting point for your inspiration. Yeah, I hope that helps lah, Elizabeth. But in terms of like sourcing idea from inspiration, you do have to look out for like, local artists lah, artwork, how they do their artwork. Yeah.
Hey, my workshop today also helped right? Inspiration. True or not? True. Later, I feel like, today I thought then got no point already. Hiyo. I'll be like Uncle Roger. Hiya, You use the idea generation one, the mind mapping section to actually come up with, inspiration. Okay, inspiration like this. Yeah, then it would help you to come up with the ideas. If I submit 2 entries for the same Tauke, I still have to write 2 different messages, right? Is it?
Yeah. Yes. We treat each submission as a new submission. So if you leave it blank, that means you're disqualified because you did not fulfill the requirement.
Don't later you draw until so good, right? Then you never write anything. Then a bit wasted, Then the judge, right, is like, ayo.
Yeah. Okay. I guess do you guys have any more questions? This will be a good chance to let it, to just ask everything you want. But if not, you can always message us. And you can also message. I mean, you can check out Maggie's. I mean, Maggie also have a lot of inspiration in her Instagram page. I mean, if you're looking for ideas.
My inspiration a bit different lah, huh? My medium is
Yeah.
also different. My canvas is also different, guys. If you all want, check it out. Follow all the way.
Yeah.
Farah, do I need to answer some of the questions, like, you know, that's from the participants previously?
I
Like
think
when they sign up.
I think you cover a lot of them already.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of them. So unless they felt like we did not answer some of the pre-submitted questions, you can ask now.
Okay.
Wait, okay, I think Susan just asked, can we combine existing cartoon characters with our design?
You mean the copyrighted ones? Like you want to
Copyrighted.
copy Hello Kitty and Ragnarok, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think
Nanti
for,
Disney. No.
like if you because we understand character is in a way is copyrighted, but maybe the more obvious one is like McDonald. If you actually copyright, you write exactly McDonald, yeah, that's kind of like against the rule lah. But I think when it comes to a character, right, because you technically drawing Christy Ng, so in a way it's not direct replica, I would say. So do make some changes to it, lah. You know, don't make it exactly like the Disney character to kind of like, you know.
Maybe I can elaborate more on this. So for example, okay, let's put McDonald's as a brand for an example. Okay, if you are drawing McDonald's logo as it is, like, you know how the typography is, or maybe some of you are using digital, right? You would just copy Google image and put it there. That is a huge no-no, okay? And the other thing I want to talk about is, right, so some of you are talking about Disney examples or cartoons and whatnot. I will not really recommend that, because unless the Tauke talks about that, okay, then
true.
Okay, then you can. If let's say you want to suddenly put in like Mickey Mouse, Hello Kitty, like suddenly it's like it doesn't make sense. And all this, obviously, you know, it's like a copyright cartoon character lah. So this cannot be part of a competition guideline. I hope that kind of explains it. Yeah, it's like good that you want to do those anime drawings, and it's going to be for your own reference and whatnot lah. So that is just something to be aware of lah.
Yeah, that's also part of the rubric also. If your content does not suit the content from the Tauke Talks, you actually lose point. So you can also check out from the rules and guideline. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have the rubric where we show you how we will mark the postcard competition. So we have actually all the information in the website. You guys just have to look through it. Yeah. So yeah, I got Maggie's handles. She has two handles. One is MTMT Design, one is MTMT Studios. And I mean, if you are not following Rise already, do follow Rise. And if you have more questions, you can also ask us in WhatsApp. You know, I mean, we respond both lah in our social media and also WhatsApp number. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, thank you everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye.